car. And I thought, are you crazy? What? That's not romantic. It's going to be blinded by the lights. And he never argues. He's a very stoic Japanese man, and he just goes, fine, all the time. I could say anything. He'd go, fine. So I said that, and he said, fine. And then we got to the location, and it was night, and I said, okay, how am I going to do this? And I said, so you guys get out of the car and stand in front of it, and the headlights are like stealing from him. And then, of course, he was right. Beautiful. John and I actually, for the first time, didn't agree a lot about the music, and in the end, I can say that I was wrong. There's a lot of stuff that I wanted to do. I love movie music, and so did John. But I always felt that thematically, this movie felt like it needed a good score, a lot of score, and that's the last thing that John ever was attracted to. I mean, yeah, he thought there would be a couple of cues, which he was right about, but he kept playing New Order. English bands, a lot of stuff. I fell in love with New Order, and the minute I put it up against, as a 10th piece of music in the rough cut, I saw the difference. Also the Furs, we had a battle about that because I heard the Psychedelic Furs song and I was like, that's too raw, it's too annoying. No, we're going to use the theme at the beginning, and they went as far as to indulge me. We'll screen one with your theme, and we'll screen the other with the Furs as the title track. In the meantime, John went out and had the Furs reproduced, so it wasn't so raw. It was like amazing, and it was great. I mean, of course you want the Psychedelic Furs Pretty Pink to open the movie, but again, I was my first movie, and I was a work in progress, and so I'll put it like that. I was wrong, and I ended up using it 4 times in the movie, the Furs. John, he's got every album from Chicago. There was a record store called Hot Tracks, I think it was. That was what we modeled our record store in Pretty Pink after. And his office was just lined, ceiling to floor, with albums, every imaginable group from blues to country to English pop, all of it, and it was constantly playing. And he knew more than any A&R guy at any record company.
Excuse me.
I can't take the credit. Music, I can take some credit. I can take credit for Try a Little Tenderness. I can do that. Yeah, I like that. That was, I think, unless it's revisionist history, I think I came up with that one for the dance. But John, he's not trying to shove records into movies, which is what a lot of people do for the commerce of it. He was trying to find a new sound. So it's about score, but not traditional score. And emotionally, it was just the right tone. And I, love it.
It's been a great collaboration with Howie. It's something that, I like producing it. You don't have to get up as early. I still love to write. In fact, when I finish directing a picture, I can't wait to start writing again. I just like to do it. It's just a matter of I've got more scripts than I can possibly do myself. And someone like Howie, a very talented guy, he understands the material as if he had written it.
I think what I brought to it was that it was my first. There was a lot at stake, and I think John knew that about me, that I had to prove something here. And whenever I think someone has that feeling, it's not just a job to them, it's about their life. And this was my life, this movie. This wasn't about going in and shooting and coming home and resting. It was about 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, worry, concern, rethinking, doubt. I had everything riding on it. And I think having done 9 other movies now, it's almost like my first love or your first love. It's like everything to you. And I don't know that you can recreate that. I don't know that that's something you can recapture. I know that like on Godfather 3, Coppola tried to rehire the same crew and recapture what he got on the first Godfather, you know, in an attempt to do that, because he's smart enough to know what were the chemicals that made that so great. But you can't. And I mean, you know, it's like anything, you know, if you make a soup and you put in a certain amount of onions and tomatoes and potatoes, and then you try to duplicate that, sometimes it doesn't taste the same. And that's what happened for me on this movie experientially. It was just a first of everything, and they all collided. And I was lucky. That contributes to the feeling. There's something about a director's, the urgency of it to him, and the stakes. And so, for me, I think that's part of why it worked for me.